Realize morning, Ketu MKS or Ketu's position being Marana, Karaka, Sthana in the chart. People have different opinions. Some people say it's Ketu is MKS in the fourth house, MKS in the second. MKS in the third. I've even heard. My personal opinion, the worst position for Ketu is the second house, right? I don't necessarily feel it's the fourth, only because the fourth house is a moksha house, right? It's a part of the moksha trikone, and when Ketu is placed here, it can definitely signify an individual who, you know what I'm saying, is into like meditation or into like detachment, truth paths, and spirituality and all that woke shit, right? To some degree or to some level, right? So I'm gonna just do it from the perspective of being MKS in the second house, right? So why would K2 be MKS in the second house? From charts that I've analyzed, you know what I'm saying? Something that seems to be very much so common about this trait right here is the person is forced to grow up earlier. Uh, the person is forced to grow up early. You know, the not accepted by the birth family for some reason, and often is forced out of the home or is forced to detach or forcefully pulled away from the security, the comfort, and the resource of the family, right? You know what I'm saying? Pretty much goes on the path of having to get it out the mud at some point within their life. And K2 in a second, you know what I'm saying? Often can find itself, it depends on the Rahu K2 axis itself, you know what I'm saying? Uh which I'm not gonna get into the complexities of all that, but either way it can go, it can be a person who finds themselves needing to depend on somebody else for resource, for comfort, for material stability and all that, right? Which I've seen a lot of charts with K2 in the second, you feel me? Either the family or whatever, you feel me, can even have a lot of money to a lot of degree, a lot of material and whatnot, to a certain degree. But it's like the emotional, familial dynamic or relationship is not there. They can often be hated or ostracized by the family in particular and whatnot. It can often be driven away or forcefully uh, detached from the family, right? Can often deal with issues of homelessness or eviction or just the security being threatened or whatnot. And that's when the Rahu in the eighth activates. You know what I'm saying? The person is pretty much scouring or trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, uh, life is survival mode right now, right? Like how do I make it through? How do I get out? You know what I'm saying? What scheme can I come up with, or what person can I contract myself with, or bond this self to in order to have a place to lay the head, or some material stability and comfort and things of that nature and whatnot, right? So K2, yeah, second house, K2, what else? What else? What else? The consumption is a problem as well. Uh K2 in the second, gotta be careful to not just mindlessly eat or mindlessly spend. You know what I'm saying? Comfort is the attachment when it comes to K2 in a second. And it's basically going to repeatedly try to pull that away. You feel me? The person has to find out how to balance this particular Rahu K2 balance. You got to figure out how to be comfortable within the uncomfortable. How to be. Eighth house is like deep level tapasya, deep level asceticism. You know what I'm saying? Like you see the yogi niggas hitting some of the hardest positions or whatever. Niggas ain't eating for 40 days. You, you know what I'm saying? Like just strenuous trials and tribulations placed upon itself in order to bring a person to a certain level of mastery and self-regulation to where you don't have to rely on the material resource comforts or security of others. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, that's a basic video on Ketu MKS in a second.